Hey everybody, so today we're going to do the planning portion of our narrative. We did some brainstorming yesterday, which is where you just throw out all kinds of ideas and get them ready. And now we're down to the planning part, which is where we make some more concrete decisions on what our story is going to come about. So the first thing that we're going to do today is looking at our setting and helping to describe our setting to our readers so they get a better picture in their brain. So in our brainstorming document, I want you to go to page 5, and that's where we're going to describe the setting to start. So the first part that we're going to do is our setting. And if you watch the video Show Don't Tell, you'll know that we need to describe what we're seeing and feeling and smelling and tasting and touching versus just telling our readers what it's like. So to remind myself what I had decided that my settings were going to be, I'm going to scroll back up to page 3 because notice it says look back at slide 3 to help. And remember I had said that maybe I might want to be in Ben Gunn's boat or maybe the stockade or maybe the ship or maybe the beach. So I think I'm going to start out on the beach, and I also have to decide what time of day, and I think I'm going to do dusk. So now that I've gone to my brainstorming page on page 3 and made my decisions about my setting, I've now come back to page 5, and it says use your senses to describe each part. And this is where metaphors and similes will help. Remember, metaphors compare two things and similes compare two things using the words like and as. So the first thing it says is, what does it look like around you? Well, remember, I've decided that I want it to be dusk outside. So what does it look like at dusk time? Well, I know the sun is setting. So I think that I'm going to put that the sun is like a ripened peach. Now the next part says, what does it sound like around you? So if I'm by the sea, some sounds that I might hear are the waves crashing or the seagulls. But again, I want to use metaphors or similes when possible. So maybe I might describe the seagulls screeching and crying out like a baby, because that's what they kind of sound like. I might use an onomatopoeia and make it say, wah, wah. The seagulls sounded like a crying child that had just been hurt. So the next part says, what does it feel like around you? So if I'm by the ocean and there's lots of water spray going on, I could describe that. Maybe I want to describe the rocks below my feet. Maybe they're slippery, like an eel. That would then use another simile. And the last one says, what does it smell or taste like around you? So for this one, I think I'm going to use personification. Personification is when you take something that is not a human and make it do something that a human would do. So I'm going to make mine say, as I turned and faced the ocean, I received a salty kiss. Because then you know that the air around you is salty. Now that I'm done with page 5, I can move on to page 6. So the next part that we're going to do is we're going to do our characters. Who are you choosing to put in your story? So my first character that I know I want to have Long John Silver. And of course, he is a pirate with a peg leg. And he sounds really gruff. Again, I am not putting a whole lot of details into here. This is just so when I go to write my story, I can include some of these into it. Gruff like a old dog. For character 2, I want it to be myself. And I'm going to be a teenager with tattered clothes. I've been on the island. And I sound scared. The next character that I want to use is I want to use Jim. Of course, Jim is the young cabin boy. And Jim, now that we've seen him in Treasure Island, we know he sounds confident. Remember, don't use all of my describing words. Go pick out some of your own to describe the setting and the characters. And then tomorrow, your teacher will go over each one of these brainstorming parts with you.